Hello everybody, it's the Alco Diesel Guy with a very unlikely locomotive sitting on my workbench today. This is a Rapido Alco RS11. Now why is that so unlikely? Well, my experience with the first gen of this product was anything but good. To put it mildly, I would say it was in fact pretty horrendous. I had a few of these on pre-order, quite a few of them in fact, because I was really excited about all the detail Rapido were going to throw at this thing. The sound effects sounded great. I was really excited, got the things in, and all of them had serious issues. In addition to having detail parts that fell off constantly, the thing that really drove me up the wall with them was their horrendous ability to stay on the tracks, or lack thereof. All of them had problems derailing, all of them had quality issues with their drivetrains. Had to send a whole bunch of these back to Rapido at my own expense, which cost quite a bit, and they fixed them and got them to work like they were supposed to initially, but still I found the sound lackluster, and I still found the quality meh. Especially considering the fact that one of these things costs over $300. I think these were closer to $350 when they were new full retail. I paid less than that when I pre-ordered them. Whatever the case, I was highly underwhelmed and utterly disgusted, and I pretty much swore off Rapido after I got in one of their Alco PAs, which disgraced itself by derailing again. Now, let me address something else. Everyone keeps saying, well, Alco Diesel Guy, it's your tracks. You've got an old school layout. You need to upgrade your curves. For the last time on this, I have upgraded those turns. They are 22 inches. This engine, that said, is designed to, with the exception of a few, there are 22. This engine, that said, is designed supposedly to make it around 18-inch turns. So the fact that it can't do it means that the problem is most likely my tracks. It's the locomotive. I have checked the tracks over a million times. I've redone them. In fact, before I reviewed that Alco PA, I had actually overhauled all of those tracks and got rid of most of my brass tracks at the time to give it the fairest shake ever. I even did that in the process of the review to make sure it wasn't my train tracks, and of course it wasn't. It still derailed. It still didn't work right. I basically got so fed up with that engine, I promptly sent it back to the person I purchased it from, the outfit I bought it from, who insisted upon charging me a restocking fee because it was a Rapido engine and they are known for returns, apparently. So that kind of pushed me off Rapido. I just don't have any mood in buying something that basically comes out running like a piece of garbage, especially if it's going to cost that much money. I just have no patience for that at all, especially since Rapido constantly goes on this tangent. Our stuff is great. It doesn't break down. Our things go around curves. They really run great. We test them to insane proportions. Well, yeah, I'm sorry. That's not what my experience has been. Your mileage may vary, but all of the engines I've ever owned from them have had some kind of problem. I've had to send them back. I've had to put up with problems with parts falling off. I've had to put up with having to spend my own money to get the things sent back and insure them. It's a real mess. So this engine, in short, how did I end up with this if I'm so upset about it? Well, this was pre-ordered a number of years before that, and I completely forgot I had it on pre-order, which is the state of the model railroad industry these days. This had been on pre-order for years. It was a birthday present. It finally showed up. And it showed up a few years ago during my hiatus from HO Scale, and it basically sat in storage. One of the things I like about this is it's a Burlington Northern Alco RS11, and it has the famous beacon, which I like so much. As everyone knows, I'm a sucker for those. And I figured after having this thing sit around for so long, and the fact that I have a decoder sitting over here from a project I was working on in more recent times that gave me a really hard time, number 111, that custom engine that seemed to be possessed, which now has a Tsunami decoder in it, I figured now is as good a time as any to throw a decoder in this, again, silent-equipped locomotive. As you can see, it says right up here, DCC silent, which basically means that which is DC only, which means obviously no decoder in it. Drop the decoder in and see how it works. Another reason why I wanted to do this, Rapido had said that because people were complaining about the highly unique way they had of disassembling their old locomotives, which basically meant taking apart the shell section by section, and I'll try to post some video of me doing that, and basically taking half my sanity and pretty much anything else that was left in my head along with it, as it drove me up the wall, and parts broke on it, there were issues with it nonstop. It was just hell on earth, all to take the engine apart. This engine supposedly goes along the Atlas route of apparently removing 2 screws and the whole body drops off and you can get into it. Well, I'll be the judge of that. So, let's see if Rapido can redeem themselves, and let's hope that this engine can actually do a lap of my track without falling to pieces or off the tracks or exploding. Just taking this little piece of plastic thing off here that goes on top of it. Again, nice packaging. I will give Rapido credit for this. Very well packaged locomotives, unlike another manufacturer, which I shall not mention. Anywho, getting back on this one, we have the instruction manual, which is written as always. Plenty of stickers, exploded parts diagram. The thing Rapido is known for is their comedy type They tend to use a comedy-type instruction manual, I should say. Let's see exactly how joking this one is. Handling it with stuff. Yeah, okay. Yeah, the jokes are back. I appreciate the sense of humor, Rapido, but seriously, when a customer is PO'd that they can't get your locomotive running, they don't want these stupid jokes. They want answers. Especially if they spend over $300 from it. So I'll just put that there. Honestly, I appreciate the sense of humor, but there are times when it's appropriate and times when it's not. There are sometimes a joke just doesn't work. Yeah. Keep that in mind, Rapido. Please keep that in mind. Okay, so now I'm going to take this outer cradle out. I'm going to move this out of the way. Hopefully I don't have to baby this engine. Yes, thanks, folks. I'm here all week. Okay, this thing folds open. Let's see, does it fall to 1,000,000 pieces? Amazingly, no. It's actually in one piece so far. Now, as with my most recent review of the Alco RS3 that I did from Bowser and a few other manufacturers about detailing parts, Rapido is kind of the only high-end manufacturer making RS11s right now, with the exception of Atlas, although their current model is being retooled. So, as it should, it has the beacon on the top, which looks a lot more realistic than the one Atherin used. It has the bell, although I'm disappointed. Immediately I see a problem here. This is not brass. It should be a brass bell. And why am I breaking shoes about that? Because guess what? Bowser managed to install one. So I'm going to now utilize one of my screwdrivers. Let us see. Oh, they have two other screws. Ah, I see. Okay. There are two more screws that apparently hold this pilot on here, which apparently go through this. And I'm not even going to bother reading their instructions because I just don't have the patience for stupid jokes when I need answers. I may look at a diagram, but I just... That really just irritates me to no end. Especially considering all the money they're charged for these things. Get out, get out, get out. So Rapido have decided to use these super microscopic screws. Why, I don't know. I'm hoping it's to try to make things more convenient, but I don't see how this is convenient right now. Quite annoying, I might add. Okay, anytime you're ready, screw, come out of there. There we go. Up, 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 up. They had to use these fine screws. Those of you not familiar with dealing with screws in general or just getting into the hobby, tinier screws tend to play the game, tend to slip their threads easier because it's very difficult to make those microscopic threads work just as effectively as the larger threads, and as a result, they'll cross or skip their threads, and you'll get a situation in which the screw actually strips itself, and you won't actually be able to get it out, which is what I am struggling with right now. Oh, this is our... Now I'm really getting pissed and I haven't even gotten the engine apart yet. Why did they have to use these stupid tiny screws, which of course have all been cross-threaded? I'm starting to lose it now. What's happened is because, again, those threads are so minute on these screws, they have cross-threaded themselves, and as a result of that, I cannot get them out. Because the metal, because it was still warm possibly at the time, or because the tool being used over-tightened them, and thus destroyed the threads, and thus because the tap is no longer there, these screws will not release. Sakes, Rapido. I'm not putting these tiny screws back in. I don't care how much the factory says they need to be in there. I am not doing that. Sorry, guys. Nope, not interested. As you can see here, this is why I hate the tiny screws. And why you have to be very careful to use the right size screw, because this is so small now, it has cross-threaded its way in there, and now I can't get it loose because the threads are messed up and won't allow this screw to be released. They're instead holding it captive. And you need to get the screw all the way out because it's sitting too far down there for me to get access to anything else. And as a result, I cannot get the thing free. I'm going to have to get more light here. Oh, this just turned into a major project. All I wanted to do was get this thing apart. Oh, for God's sakes, Rapido. Okay, hold on, folks. I got to get something. Be right back. So I'm 15 minutes into this video, and 10 minutes of it has been just to get this one screw out. Or close to 10 minutes, at least. God's sakes. Let me get my other finer screwdriver out. It's turning. It just... Oh. For God's sakes, Rapido, you couldn't have used a bigger screw. Isn't that... I mean, you must have access to something a little bit bigger than that. For God's sakes. Okay, I got this Lennox high-end screwdriver kit thingy, which I think I got from my local Walmart. These are pretty decent. I use them with my electronics. A little bit easier to work with. The other one was gripping. It was just... working as well, and again, I'm having the same problem. It's turning the screw, but the screw is cross-threaded in the hole. So I don't know... Why, Rapido? Why couldn't you have just put a frickin' normal-sized screw in there? Why did you have to use 3 smaller ones? Do you think you're that special? I mean, what is the purpose of this other than to annoy the hell out of someone who's trying to work on one of these things? Getting really angry right now. I'm just getting really disgusted right now. I'm trying to keep myself from losing it. Ugh. God's sakes. It should not be this difficult, but it is. Well, this screw is coming out. The other one won't. It's cross-threaded again. I'm not putting these back in. There is no way I'm putting them back in. Why, Rapido? Why? I can tell I'm going to be doing a lot of editing on this video. Let's keep going on this. I mean, I guess this is an improvement from the last one, but really? These tiny screws, Rapido? You really thought this was going to be an improvement? There it is, finally. I shook it loose. And it goes to the part spin. That's never going in there again. Now, does it come up? Looks like it does. Oh, it's caught on something. I don't like that. What am I caught on before I break something in 3 pieces? Oh, Again, this is built to such a high quality, if you exhale on it the wrong way, it will break. So you got to be very careful taking these things apart. Caution is always required, but on one of these, with parts composed of tissue paper, you really need to be careful. So let's go up like that. There we go. I got it up. Oh, something broke off. Oh! Yep, there goes something that broke off. Nice. I don't know what I just lost there, but I'm not sure I'm going to bother reattaching it. Wasn't put on right. This, I don't know what this is. I think this is one of the pieces off the truck that came loose here. It looks like it's off the bottom of the frame. me now carefully lift this off. Now that... Here's where it was. This is what came off on this side. Put glue on that to glue it back into place. So I got to get some glue immediately out and to fix something. Of course, I should have known. Of course, why would Rapido make anything high quality? Again, exhaling the wrong way on these things causes the parts to fall, and it's not just me struggling with this. Even Sam's Trains over there in the UK with his channel has had problems with these engines having low quality. I guess this model isn't the most recent model, but still, this is not inspiring confidence for me, nor is it motivating me to maybe purchase any more of Rapido's stuff at this point, or junk, as I'm going to refer to it as, because this is really pissing me off. I got to be very careful now not to strain these wires too much. I got to now carefully reattach that thing if I can find it. Oh, I lost it already, didn't I? Oh, there it is. So that's where it goes on the side right here. Wouldn't be a Rapido engine if a part didn't fall off. Ugh. This is possible on here. It's right on the edge over here, so let's just apply it and go straight across there on that line. You can tell it was glued in too last time. Ooh, this stuff is strong. I'm gonna have to let this sit now until it dries. I can't put it back in until it is dry. Let us now install this in the same way the other one was installed. There it is. I think I got it in place. I dare say I got it in place. Okay. I shall now let that sit and dry. I'm not going to assemble this now until that dries up. So here is my nemesis that I'm going to be dealing with getting out. Unlike last time, admittedly this wasn't quite as bad, but still not fun. This over here is what we call a 21-pin socket, which I've talked about in several of my videos. This socket here is essentially what determines all the DCC functionality and everything else. The only decoder apparently certified for this is one of these. This is called a Loc Sound decoder by ESU, and that's what is included on these models. This, again, came from an engine I was working on, which it lost the sound on, so I'm technically going to use this locomotive as a mule to reprogram it to see if I can save it, and if I can, it's going to become this locomotive's decoder. Finding out that Loc Sound isn't quite as power efficient as I thought they were. I thought Tsunami was worse, but it turns out it's the other way around. You got to be careful pulling those things out, I should mention, but I'm so wound up right now, which is probably not the best mode to be in, but I'm in the kind of mode where I don't mind breaking something that I don't like, because I've just had enough. So again, the board, you got to make sure you set this up accordingly. The dead, or the missing pin, because it's 21 pin, not 22, goes on this side over here. Oh, and it looks like I bent that one a little bit. Should be okay, though. The socket faces up. You line the pins and gently press it down until it goes into place. Oh God. Oh, wait a minute. Did I cross these wires underneath here? No. Let's now make sure this is in right before I do anything else. I don't want any of these wires trapped underneath here. There is a speaker installed, which is good news. There is also another LED plug here. It looks like this is designed, because again, this is designed for multiple different engines. I'm just going to now take this in here and look below to make sure I'm correct. I am. Now press this in, and there it is, it's in. Okay, so now that's installed. That's basically the end of the install on this. Now I'm going to have to let this sit and dry, because of course a part broke off, typical Rapido. I'm going to have to let that dry up and then proceed. Looks like I also managed to get some glue overspray on this. Or it was from the factory, it looks like. There were some glue marks on this, I should note when I got it, which didn't exactly help my opinion of them, of this particular locomotive. So anyway, I'm going to let this sit now, and I'll come back to it once it's dried for a bit. Say about an hour or so, just to make sure I don't glue this together permanently. Hello everybody, back on this Alco RS11 from Rapido. I was able to finally get the beacon going, although it was a bit of a trial. When I hit F5, all I was getting was that under inspection light thing that comes on below the cab of the locomotive to check the tracks, and I couldn't figure out what was going on. So what I had to do was do a little research and sort of messing around and figuring out. What I ended up doing is all these other functions here were not active originally. So what I had to do is go into each one. I'll show you what I did. As you see, I named this one RB for a rotating beacon. I had to go into each one of these that was non-defined, but was active, because they'll come up, it'll detect what functions work here, and these were up but weren't actually assigned to anything. I just clicked on it and then chose rotary beacon, and then basically saved it as that being its function. Then I went into function mapping, and went to F5, which is the function I wanted, and added those functions, which as you see is aux 6, 8, and 11. I'm not sure which one it was. I just added all of them. I also deleted, because by default it has this emergency beacon thing on. So where is this one? All the way up here. Emergency light on. Where is that? I know I saw it someplace. Front headlight. Anyway, there's a one for emergency beacon, which was highlighted here. I unchecked that one because I didn't want that light coming on. And basically made sure that the only ones I had checked was these aux 11, aux 8, and aux 6. So by doing so, I was able to get it to work. And just to show you, let me go into driver's cab. I'll go, and we'll start it up. As you can see, F5, I'll trigger it again. If I were to, you see right now it's off. If I were to press F5, as such, the beacon rotates and flashes. So I was able to fix that, and it looks very realistic, I have to say. So that's what it was. It was a bit involved. I guess I should demonstrate the sound quickly since I'm right here. Let's go and hit F8. See if she'll fire up. F8. There we go. Sounds really good. I'll throw up a little bit on it. I really like this new sound effect. It's really realistic sounding. What's cool is that any Loc Sound 5 engine would have the ability to accept this Decoder, would have the ability to accept this. Let me get rid of drive hold. I know it's got drive hold on, so it's not going to go anywhere. Anyway, now it works. Blow the horn. Actually, it's the bell. There's the horn. Really sounds nice. I love that sound effects package that they put on this. Seems like Loc Sound has redeemed itself again with me. It goes again. Runs pretty smooth, so I got that fixed. Next step is going to be to reinstall that darn coupler. So the next step is going to be to reinstall that coupler and put it in service. I was also able to assign that locomotive number to it. So essentially this is all programmed. I just need to put the couplers on it, and I'm all set, ready to run, ready to go. Okay, I've been running this thing around for quite a bit now. I haven't had any issues with it. Let's go give it a real test, put it on the mountain, and see what she does. First off, it might help if I actually put it on the right track. Let's switch over to the second track. It's too bad the sound is so weak on this thing. I'm really surprised that Rapido couldn't have put a better sounding speaker system in there. This is again with the sound turned up to full volume. It really doesn't have any fidelity to it at all. You can just barely hear it. Let's get on to the secondary track. Huge improvement over previous attempts by Rapido, as they couldn't even make it this far. This thing's going everywhere so far, and it hasn't given me any problems. I don't know how well it'll do in switching yet. I haven't done that yet. Pardon the awkward shots. It's just that the track is kind of buried in all the trusses and everything else. It's kind of subterranean at this point. Okay, coming onto the mountain, through the tunnel. Ignore the RS1, it's on a different track. Gonna come up the hill. Keeping it nice and steady, not throttling up. I'm not gonna stop it, I'm just gonna run it straight through, make sure all is well. Up we go around. Oops, I gotta move that signal, it keeps falling out of position there. Through the tracks, back onto the main line, off the yard lead. Past the station. So keeping it nice and slow. It's a cliffhanger there. A little nerve-wracking, but it's away from it. Made it safe. Okay, back toward me. This is a bit of a cliffhanger here too, but it's not that far off the ground. Zooming out a bit here as we get close to me now, as it's going to now turn back again. Down the other part of the Whitestone grade. There's a power problem with this track here. I have to figure out what's going on with it. I thought it was dirty, but it's not. It just keeps cutting trains out there. Once it's passed, there's never an issue. Coming back down off the mountain, off the grade, through the switch, and then back onto the second main line, and then it's going to switch over to the third again, the way I have it set. So yeah, it works pretty well.